learn and you see that a lot of these spiritual concepts are just fucking made up. But most of those spiritual activities are all happening at the body. You're dieting or you're fasting or you're exercising, your prayer, your meditation. All of this is happening with you and your body, or it's happening through consumerism. You're buying clothing or books or literature or classes or certification courses or wellness retreats. So Paul Chek, he was influential. He was very inspirational. But then you start really looking at the material he teaches or encourages, like Course in Miracles, Byron Katie, all of the stuff you guys have covered, all of the New Age spiritual, Hay House and Gaiam authors, and all of the most popular New Age spiritual teachers, he teaches aggressively. So you learn all these ideas, and you really learn a lot from any teacher or guru. And there's like this admiration. There's, all these people have never really done any deep research on history. So there's nothing in particular. It's just that these ideas, most of these, as you guys know, a lot of these ideas come from 19th century, early 20th century. There's a lot of eugenics mixed in, a lot of social Darwin ideas that are sort of like a part of all this philosophy. And people can't discern. They don't know what the fuck they're listening to or reading. It just sounds, empowering or whatever.
I mean, it strikes me too that if you're going to position yourself as an expert on all things and as this kind of guru figure, and there is a lack of actual expertise and training and background, then it's a fairly easy slide to move into that place where anything that runs contrary to what I'm saying must be part of some conspiracy, must be part of some mainstream agenda, must be part of the people who are asleep and are scared to hear what I'm really saying, right?
Yeah. So like one of the first things you learn when you get into alternative health or wellness is the main narrative is a binary. Like, we are alternative to the world. We're, a little smarter, a little better, more responsible, more spiritual. We take better care of ourselves. We're bootstrapping, yada, yada, yada. This ideology and identity that you learn and develop is it's just made up. Like, oh, these people are fat and lazy. They're all diseased. And we're the ones who are taking responsibility. So when you get into bodybuilding or yoga or fitness, you sort of learn this idea that we're an alternative culture, being better than, taking more responsibility than mainstream regular people. And that's all of these ideas are oversimplified.
And part of the reason that the ideas are so attractive is that they're presented in an extremely charismatic way. And this first clip that we have to look at really kind of, I think, sets the stage for how Paul presents himself. So we found this YouTube video from February of 2019. It's called Who is Paul Chek? Holistic Lifestyle Coach. The account that it was posted on is called Barbell Shrugged. And I'm wondering if that's a play on Atlas Shrugged.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Probably.
But I mean, because the shrug, as you're using barbells, is something that you actually do, right? I don't lift weights, but I'm imagining there's a lot of shrugging involved, right?
There is, but you don't call them shrugged.
All right. Okay. So the account has 206,000 followers. Their header video is a promo for their Diesel Dads program. This caught my eye. There's this guy, Anders Varner, who I think is the main barbell shrugger. And he says, we're talking about the number one thing that is holding you back from the transformation that you desire. That's going from soft, slow, and sluggish to strong, lean, and athletic without sacrificing family, fatherhood, or fitness. And that really kind of actually, I have to confess, appealed to me a little bit. But we can see that there's this biomorality theme that's set up just in the account. There's sort of hints of muscular Christianity. Anyway, in this clip that I have lined up, Vanders has gone to visit Chek at his residence. I believe it's San Diego. Is that right, Antonio?
It's Orange County. So it's now, he used to be in Encinitas. Now he's in somewhere close to Encinitas.
Right. So it looks like a huge estate where he's got like space to do rock piles, and he talks about having orange trees. And anyway, the Barbell Shrugged guys go, and Chek just monologues at them on and on about his accomplishments, and they kind of like shift from foot to foot and nod, and well, you can hear it.
I built the first instructional videos in the world on how to integrate weightlifting and Swiss balls, how to use them in a gym, and I built the first videos in the world on how to use a Swiss ball for athletic rehabilitation, and probably pioneered the whole concept. So I did a lot of my research on the Swiss ball in '88 and had developed my routines and techniques by '89 when I started developing the first videos. And the first professional sports team to hire me to teach them my system of core conditioning and how to use Swiss balls was the Chicago Bulls. And I did 7 consultations with the Bulls. Al Vermeil, I don't know if you know Al Vermeil, but he's a famous strength. He's got more championship rings than any strength coach in the world, 13 of them, between football and basketball. And he had an open door policy. His policy was anytime you got something cool to teach us, I'll pay you, come on down. So I was during the Jordan era. And then the Lakers saw how they were training and doing all this stuff. So the Lakers bought the stuff. And prior to that, not there anymore, Raiders. The Raiders bought all my correspondence courses because one of their strength coaches had studied some of my material. And I actually still have the check because they were the first professional football team to get into my stuff. And this is like, 89, 90.
It doesn't stop for 13. It is that.
Yeah. And we were discussing the title for this episode. We came up with the Jordan Peterson of Fitness Bros in part because he's logorrheic. Like it doesn't seem like he can stop talking. There's this one. It's also a function of the whole open mic of influence technology. But one of the things that I noted was that as you watch this video, you can see that Chek is aware that the barbell shrugged guys are there, but he isn't really talking to them or making solid eye contact. Like he's in monologue mode, but there's something like sort of bubbled about it. So they say nothing during the entire 11 plus minutes. That's how they've edited it. But it also conveys this phenomenon that we've noted elsewhere that people become prominent if they can go into some sort of trance state as they speak about their accomplishments or about their content. And it seems that asking him any question would intrude into some kind of riff that he's radiating outwards. So I guess I wanted to ask you, Antonio, whether that sounds like what you remember being around him.
Anyone who's in a guru position, you either have to be narcissistic or you become narcissistic. Chances are, the more you're in that position like he is, and he's got a lot of extremely devoted religious disciples. I don't think it's anything deeper than just complete fucking narcissism when you're in that kind of position of authority.
Well, I wanted to mention that he, that's what I've got from him. Sometimes his advice, he says something like, it takes an average of 8 hours of sleep per night for the human immune system to kill down the bacteria population to a safe level, because every single bacterium in your body is urinating and defecating in your body 24/7. And I don't know how that's going to hold up. I have a few more that I want to tackle, but I think, Matthew, you wanted to keep going with his origin story.
Well, yeah, I did. But because we're talking about origin stories and how he talks about himself and his self-presentation, one other little brief question is, Antonio, if somebody was actually to go in and fact check any of these things, what would they find?
Yeah, a lot of it's bullshit or not supported by evidence. In terms of the exercise stuff, what Paul Chek did is he took the chakra system and sort of integrated it with assessments and program design. So in other words, if you come to see me or you go to see a Chek practitioner and you have some discrepancies in your posture, you don't have ideal posture, these are problems. And this is actually a problem not just with Chek, but all throughout. It's a part of yoga and a part of corrective exercise or functional exercise. It's a big part of massage therapy. If you guys go see a massage therapist or a Chek practitioner or some yoga people, you're going to get a list of imbalances in movement,
right?
Movement dysfunctions and disorders and postural distortion.
I can fix that for you.
Yes. Yeah, so first of all, listen to the language: postural distortion, disorder, pathology, movement distortion, imbalance. So this is a big thing. One of the biggest components of all wellness, all of it, is that you are never going to be good enough. You are always perpetually